I think we all want to achieve financial freedom, and that comes investing in some of the most promising projects. Now, Hedera Hashgraph, or HBAR, is by far one of the most promising projects in this space, and I think anyone that's done even the smallest amount of research knows that, because of the connections, the governing council, the technology, it just goes on from there. So the question is, right, can 20,000 HBAR make you a millionaire? And today I want to answer that question, but I'm going to do it and educate you in a really interesting way that I think no one else really has. I want to break apart a strategy that you could actually follow that can give you the answers we're possibly looking for. So let's head over to the chart and actually answer this question, right? So 20,000 HBAR, what is that looking like right now? Well, at the current price, that's more or less about $1,000. Now, we're currently sitting just under 5 cents. So yeah, we're actually at very, very good buy levels right now. So this probably won't last for too long, but $1,000 is great, right? So I think this is an interesting number because most people, should be able to obtain 20,000 HBAR or $1,000. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and say that's a one-size-fits-all thing. Some people can buy 200,000 HBAR. That's about the same amount I have. And for some people, 200,000 HBAR is nothing, right? That's a lot for me. Some people think that, 10,000 or 500 or 5,000 rather HBAR is a lot. It all depends on your goals. But essentially, I'm actually going to show you a strategy today that will create millionaires based on this amount of HBAR. Actually, a little bit less than this, because I think we can all agree that 20,000 HBAR ain't going to make you a millionaire in 2025, but I've got some really cool steps I want to show you guys that's going to open your horizons up and just kind of give you a strategy, not just for HBAR, but for other projects that will kind of hopefully give you a bit more ease when it comes to investing in crypto and some of your time horizons, okay? So can this really make you a millionaire? Well, as I said, yes, it actually technically can, and no at the same time. Let me elaborate a bit. Here's what I mean, guys. So if we come over here to this chart, right, this is kind of what I'm looking at in terms of the next, few cycles, right? So we had 2021 cycle all the way over here, okay? And let's just pretend that, this actually was the chart from 2021, but let's just pretend that this over here was, okay? And so if we accumulated, $1,000 worth of HBAR today, more or less at the current price of about 5 cents, again, that'd be about 20,000 HBAR, okay? So let's fast forward here to 2025, and what would that look like? Well, I'm predicting, again, I think at a reasonable level, we would see a maximum of $2 HBAR token in 2025, okay? At the very peak, again, we could go a little bit more than that, we could go a little bit less than that, but I think as someone who's sort of someone in the community that's like I guess you would say a figure of people are going to trust what I say, I think $2 is like that level where I'll say, look guys, this is something that you can kind of take on board and go, okay, that's the maximum side of things. I don't want to give you too bullish stuff to convolute kind of what it may actually go to. So $2 seems to be the most realistic maximum to me. So therefore, simple maths, we just pretty much times 20,000 by 2, which is $40,000. But we're 40xing basically. But, again, that's kind of on the maximum side of things. I don't think anyone in the history of anything has like perfectly timed the top every single time. Matter of fact, I'd probably bet everything I own and love on that fact, right? So what I'm going to say here is, and follow me on this, is if fast forwarding to 2028, basically, 5 years from now, essentially at this point in time in the next bear market, let's just say HBAR's, higher lows average out to about 25 cents. So we're 5xing at our higher lows. So basically, where we kind of have been traveling here, let's just say it's an average of, again, 5 cents. If that average now becomes 25 cents, well, what we should do is reinvest the money we pretty much took out at this level here in HBAR. Again, on average, we should always let us sell and then reinvest it. And here's why, right? So if we reinvest, again, we're not trying to time the top. So we're not going to make exactly $40,000, but we'll make probably pretty close if you follow the strategy I like to teach you guys. So let's just say we make $30,000, right? What we then do, even if we buy it at an average of 5x in this sort of levels, right? We're actually going to acquire ourselves 120,000 HBAR tokens. So while we might only be able to get 20,000 HBAR tokens right now with $1,000 at 5 cents, the money we've made and reinvested, even though that reinvested amount is actually on average more HBAR per token, right, or more dollars per HBAR token, we're actually getting a hell of a lot more because we have just more capital. It doesn't matter, right? It just supersedes the actual price of a HBAR token, right? So again, we're not looking at how much we're investing here. We're not looking at this per se. We're just looking at how many HBAR tokens we've accumulated, because if we now fast forward to 2030, right? I think the max we go to at this point is $15, reasonable dollars, right? Because guys, you might look at that and go, you're nuts, Karen. Why $15 for? That's just like unobtainable. Guys, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a different landscape in 2030. Things are going to end up changing quite dramatically. A lot of your favorite sort of shit coins and all these meme crap coins that saturate the industry, they're going to be gone. And I can't wait for that to happen, to be completely honest with you. And I think the best are going to last, and HBAR is definitely the best. I always use analogy, right? HBAR is that one project. If you had a lineup of 100 people in a police station, okay, and you had 99 pink people and you had one green person, and it was a lineup, who are you going to ask questions first to? You're going to pick the green person and say, hey, dude, that's HBAR. It's so unique and different and well-structured. It just sticks out like a sore thumb, okay? So it's definitely going to have a hell of a lot of demand. It's going to shock a lot of people. So I'm pretty comfortable in saying this. So then, simple maths again, right? We just get the 120,000 tokens that we now have, right? And we times it by the new max-ish. That's $1.8 million. That's a 60x from this point up to about here. Now, again, it could go to $10. It could go to $11. But we're still making pretty well $1 million. And what did we start with? Well, we started with $1,000 damn dollars. Guys, in 7 years, if you can turn $1,000 in a few different processes and steps into that much damn money, you're winning at life. And I think that can definitely happen. And I'm not just trying to show you stuff here, right? I'm not giving you hopium. Again, it's going to be pretty hard to time the top, so you might not get the $15. Hell, it could even go to $30. We just don't know. But that, I feel, is a comfortable level. So this should give you some idea. The answer technically is yes and no, right? So it's not always black and white. So I could sit here and say, hey, you know, Karen, is 20,000 HBAR tokens going to make you a millionaire in 2025? The answer is no, not in 2025. But you can make over $1 million with only 20,000 HBAR now if you just reinvest, keyword reinvest, and do it in stages, okay? So whoever said investing was like a clear cut, you buy now and you sell in a couple of years and you're done. No, that's just a crypto, you know, fallacy, right? We've got to get ourselves out of that. We're becoming real investors here. We need to actually take this stuff seriously and strategize. Make a plan, okay? And I think reinvesting is actually that, right? And this is interesting. So while I was doing this thought exercise, I'm a human too, right? So I must admit, I do know more than most people in regards to possibly investing and, you know, definitely crypto and stuff like that. But I always tend to find I learn things, okay? And the interesting thing is, as I was doing this, I thought, hang on, let me just put in an exercise where I think about not reinvesting all of the tokens, okay? Not selling all the 20,000 HBAR tokens somewhere near the top, or let us sell to that high price point here. What if I, let's just say, keep 2,000 HBAR tokens, okay, and sell 18,000 HBAR tokens over here, okay, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm buying it at an average of 5 cents, right? So there's more multiples to be made if I sell at $15 over here. That's what I'm thinking about, right? And that's what a philosophy I've held for a long time. But we're doing it wrong. We're looking at price. We should be looking at the amount of tokens acquired, right? So here's what I'm saying. Again, so let's just say we sell 18,000 tokens at $2, right? That's $36,000 with 40x again. But, so we have $36,000 cash, but we now have 2,000 HBAR tokens as well. So we have cash and HBAR, right? So let me fast forward over here. Same situation, right? We get 25 cents in 2028. We decide to get all of our cash at 36 grand and just buy as many HBARs as we possibly can. How many HBAR tokens did we get at that price? 100,000, okay? So you can see the error here, right? So we're actually still holding 2,000 HBAR and we've just bought, you know, 100,000 HBAR. So how many HBAR do we actually have to sell at the top in 2030? 102,000 HBAR. By $15, 1.5 million opposed to 1.8 million, okay? So I was doing this and I was like, oh my God. Like, I've been telling people this wrong because I just haven't done the thought exercise. No one's perfect, guys, and I'll be here. I'm not gonna try to hide this and just push it under the rug and say, hi, I was never wrong in the first place. It was because of this and that. No, I made a mistake, and it's a very obvious mistake. I think a fifth grader could have done the maths on this, but until I put it into action, I didn't realize, right? So again, guys, we are not looking for how many multiples we can make on our average buy price. We're just trying to acquire tokens. That's all. If you acquire like $1 million worth of HBAR tokens at $10, and if it goes to $15, you're going to make those multiples, but you know you've spent $1 million. So if the outcome is 1.5 million, you've really only profited, you know, the 500,000. And that's the philosophy we have to get ourselves out of. We want to buy cheap, sure, but if we're getting better value for money, and that is we're buying more tokens, even though it is more expensive over here, as long as we're getting more tokens, we actually started with $1,000, right? So we're winning, okay? Different if we put in $1 million over here at, like, let's just say $10, okay? That's going to bring our average price up. We spent, in this case, $1,001,000, right? So you guys can start to understand, we're just going to change the mindset. We're looking for acquiring the amount of tokens, not always getting it. Like, of course, again, buying at cheap prices means that you can just buy more tokens, right? So that's the distinction we have to make. We buy cheap to get more tokens. We're not buying cheap to add on those multipliers. I hope that makes a bit of sense. Either way, I kind of summarize it down here, right? So what this shows us is that it makes sense to capitalize on the short term and reinvest when the time is right for the long term. Reinvest for the long term. Again, we want to make sure that that's actually feasible. And in this case, even if we 5x over here for HBAR, it's still feasible, okay? As long as we put all the money we made at the 2024 bull run into 2028 at that price, right? Now, again, I've been wrong many, many times. It's always good to visualize things because, again, we're all human. I am personally someone who always learns from visualization, right? I've never been someone who's good at, like, thinking about things in my head and then, like, trying to understand it. I have to write it. I have to see it. And some of us are like that. It's just how we're born, right? So hopefully this has helped, guys. Yes, technically 20,000 HBAR can make you not just a millionaire, but almost a multi-millionaire if you play your cards right. Again, this isn't really rocket science. Again, if you follow a simple DCA and ladder sell strategy, you should be able to acquire very similar results. All right, guys, take good care. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe for more. Take care.